So the news yesterday night was that Trump tried to pull a Zelensky on Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, and he failed. I'm proud of the leadership shown by the South African president in being able to hold his own despite the ambush that was planned by the Trump White House. The way I understand it is that if the US is negotiating with another country, right, the negotiations usually culminate in the Oval Office. So you would have had weeks and months of negotiation, but when the leaders meet at the Oval Office at the invitation of the US president, it's usually at the peak of those negotiations. So the Oval Office meeting is usually a seal of approval to show that negotiations have gone far and, is to wrap up the negotiations. So, but surprise that we see that the South African president was kind of ambushed. He was shown videos, photos of propagandists, who try to put South Africa and South African government in bad light. And in spite of that, you see how South African president was able to hold his own. But my point is, the Oval Office wasn't supposed to be a place for that. Oval Office is not supposed to be a circus where people just come and, try to ambush other leaders. No. The Oval Office is supposed to be a dignified space where foreign leaders come in and proper negotiations are held and deals are finalized. But we've seen how Trump has turned the White House and the Oval Office to a circus. We see what he did with Zelensky and what he tried to do with Cyril Ramaphosa. I'm happy that Cyril Ramaphosa was able to hold his own. I'm happy that he was able to maintain his stance and to get his message across. The South African leader has shown leadership in Congo with the M23 rebels, in the issue with Rwanda. He has shown leadership himself and the South African government in the issue in Gaza, how they took the case of genocide to the International Criminal Court. He has shown leadership in Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine, and he has shown leadership in other international conflicts and efforts to deal with domestic issues. And it shows an example of how an African leader of African government can take a leadership stance in the international stage. And we've seen how South Africa has upstaged some years ago. It was Ruto of Kenya that was, leading the spotlight. Nigeria is supposed to lead the spotlight, but you see South Africa have upstaged Nigeria, upstaged Kenya and other countries in showing true leadership in the international stage. And it culminated in how the South African leader and his team were able to hold their own in the White House. And we should be proud of what he did, and we should be proud of the South African government. We Africans, we should be proud of the leadership shown by the South African government.